Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we will learn about Angular application files. So once you install your Angular application with npm i, then you are getting certain files like this on your code editor. So let's explain how the files are useful for your application and how we are going to implement these files in our application. So let's start. So there are two kinds of file configurations files you are getting. One is project configuration file, another is project source files. So let's explain project configuration files. So if you see, we have files here. So forget about this app file. This is about the source files. You have assets folder, app folder, environment folder, browser list, fab icon, index.html, karma conf.js, main ts, polyfills, styles, test, tsconfig, two tsconfigs, one is spec, one is app, another is tslint, and editor config with gitignore. So let me explain you all this. So once you are getting a file, the first which we have to explain is editor config. This is for the editors, whatever the editors we are using like Visual Studio Code, Atom or Sublime. For that configurations you can give certain commands or certain configurations that can run on your editor, so that will be helpful while doing coding. Next is git ignore. This specifies intentionally untracked files that git should ignore. That means when you are using your repo or repository from the git, this command you can, or this file you can see and check to config some files should not be untracked. readme.md, introductory documentation for the root app. This is just a documentation. Angular.json. So this is one of the important files that you need to understand is this is a CLI configuration defaults for all projects in the workspace, including configuration options for build, serve, and to test tools that the CLI uses, such as tslint, karma, and protector. So this actually contains your Angular configurations. Remember, not the whole package configuration of your application, only the Angular part configuration it is holding. Suppose you want to change any configuration for your Angular, then you have to come here in the angular.json and you have to check out what you want to customize. Next, package.json. So this is another important part of Angular files, you can say, that contains all the module packages whatever installed in the application to run the application. That means without this your application can't be run. So whenever you are including any library in your application that is installed in your application, and the information of that application package and the version, all the things will be available in this package.json file. It has three main characters, or you can say main parts. That is, one is your application introduction, second is the script. In the script, it contains about the commands like ng-test, then how it will build ng-build, this all commands it will including. Then the dependencies contains two types. One is normal dependency, another is dependency for your dev. That means while you are developing your application, those dependencies, and another is the dependencies which you want only for the deployment. Next is package log JSON. So it provides version information for all packages. These two are same, but the difference is package log JSON records the exact version of each installed package, whereas package JSON records the minimum version your app needs. Fine. Next is the src folder. In src folder we are going to keep our all the folders, all the files what we are going to develop during the project development. So customize any component we are adding or module we are adding, that will come under the src. Next is node modules. This is the modules we can say where your npm packages are being installed, or you can say the dependencies are visible here. tsconfig.json is the default TypeScript configuration for projects in the workspace. As we know, Angular 2 plus any configuration is using TypeScript, so all the configuration for your TypeScript it is configured in this type config.json. Then tslint.json, default tslint configuration for projects. tslint is nothing but the format configuration of your coding structure. So if you want to change anything and you want to know more about this, then you can configure here by tslint.json file. Then browser list. This is nothing but the list of the browsers your application is going to serve. Now let's go through the project source files. First is app. Contains the component files in which your application logic and data are defined. So this is how we are going to implement all our new. Next is assets folder. Assets folder contains all the images and external files what we are needed while using our development of the application. For example, if you need some JSON files, you can keep in the assets folder. If you want to keep some media files, or you can say the image files, that you can keep under the assets folder. Next is environments. This is nothing but the configuration of environments, like in which environment you are going to develop, or you are going to deploy the application. For example, it has the production mode. There are two types of configuration files you will get here. One is production mode false, and another is production mode true. So as per your requirement, you can set it to production mode. Fav icon. This is nothing but the icon what you are getting on the tab. Index.html. So as we know, the index.html is the only page which initializes at the beginning. So whatever the tags you are going to implement and whatever the components you are going to implement, it will takes place inside the index.html, or you can say the bootstrap is from the index.html. Main.ts. So this is the file how your application going to start. It compiles the application with the JIT compiler and bootstraps the application's root module, app module, which is to run in the browser. You can also use the AOT compiler without changing any code by appending the AOT flag. So as we know, we have JIT compiler and AOT compiler, but if you want to run your AOT, you need to use $AOT flag. Next is Karma configuration. So this is nothing but the Karma configuration for the testing your application. Then polyfills.ts. Polyfills.ts is helps to your browser for configuration, or you can say for the compatibility of ES5 and ES6 with your browser. Test.ts. This is the entry point for your unit testing. So when you're doing a unit testing with your component spec class, then you have to configure here in test.ts. Then style.sass or css. This is the global style file. So if you're doing any changes in this file, that will be implemented to all the HTML views, you can say, within comes under the app folder. So this is how we are implementing all the files. Later on chapters we are going to see how we are going to use all the files in our applications. Thank you.